Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. This is Eddie Marcus here again. Couldn't sleep. Had to wake up this morning thinking about the United States of America, where they've told us we're the richest nation, the most prosperous nation. We're the most nation with the greatest intelligence. That's what we've been told. And if we took a little bit of time and did some research on our nation and other nations, you will find out that our nation is one of the richest nations on the face of the earth, but it is one of the most heartless nations on the face of the earth. It will show that we care less about our people than any other nation on the face of the earth where there's genocide going on. We care less about American people. We got more people in prisons in America than anywhere else on the face of the earth because Americans don't care about people. They allow situations to exist where people have to commit crimes to try to survive, and they are in prison. America is on a pathway to hell. And today, ladies and gentlemen, I call you to do one thing: wake up and call on all of those politicians, whether they are Republicans or Democrats, who stand up before you on these television cameras and say one thing and turn around and lie. These liars do not work for the American people. When you see guys like Kevin McCarthy, when you see guys like Mitch McConnell, when you see guys like Graham, when you see these imposters sit up there, tell all kinds of lies right before your face, and they are there making decisions about whether you got food, whether you get food. They are making decisions on whether you can get some help in your houses. They are making decisions on about whether you can get medical care. They are making decisions about everything in your life. And you sit there and you watch them, these crooks. These are gangbangers, my friends. The Crips and Bloods couldn't have been no more dangerous than these guys. The Mafia and Hitler couldn't have been more dangerous than these guys. Sit up there and tell you Donald Trump won this election. Sit up there and tell you that people eating chicken, that people are feeding ballots to chickens and then killing the chickens so the people want. Ladies and gentlemen, you are acting as if you are as insane as these politicians. There is no way you will let anybody walk into your house and take control of your house talking like these turkeys. There is no way they got any business, any right to sit up in this house, in this country, telling these lies to you when you know they're lying. And then they go back and sit up in a room talking about making decisions about us. And then they come back out and tell you lose. They come back out and tell you, oh, the cops were justified in killing your people. Oh yeah, they were justified in making sure that you didn't get the adequate health care. They were justified in making sure that you didn't get the adequate education. Why are they justified? Because these people believe that it's evil. They believe that it's wrong for everybody to have health care. They believe that it's wrong for everybody to have education. They believe it's wrong for everybody to have housing and food and clothing. They believe it's wrong. And you got them in office. We got them in office. How do I say and how do I know they believe it's wrong? Because there are millions of people who don't have food, don't have housing, don't have adequate health care, don't have adequate education. Millions of them. Why do they do it? Because nobody cares. And who are the ones that don't care? All of us. The ones who make the decisions and the ones who sit back and say, well, we'll see. America, you have heard, is the greatest nation on the face of the earth. I'm going to tell you, America is primed to be the worst nation that has ever existed. America is primed to be the worst nation that ever existed. Why? Because they're talking about politics. What are they talking about? They're talking about politics. They're talking about you and me. They're talking about them having and using us to get it. That's what they're talking about when you're talking about politics. It has nothing to do with what's right and wrong. Because if we were talking about what's right and wrong, none of us would be suffering any of the things that we lack. But nobody's talking to you about that but me. And before I go, I'm asking every American to get up to date and start talking. Find what action must be taken to pull these guys out of office. These guys in office who deny that these acts of violence has happened against the American people and this country should be pulled out of office. They got no right to sit up there in that office. They got no right for you to pay their health care. They got no right for you to pay them a salary. They got no right for you to protect their lives while they sit up there and destroy yours. Now, that's one thing. So get them out of office. What's the next thing? I want you to know that it is not evil. You hear people talking about socialism. Let me tell you why they talk about socialism. See, America, well, don't let me say God, because a lot of people don't believe in God. So let me say it this way. In order to have peace and prosperity and freedom and joy in life and the fulfillment of your dreams, there got to be a certain practice. You got to follow certain principles. America refuses to follow those. To follow those basic principles, America says that's evil. They say, I've said this once, just let me say it one more time. If you feed everybody, that's evil. They call that socialism, evil. Now, they give all that credit that says socialism will take care of its people, will make sure that nobody's hungry. Let me tell you what American democracy says about socialism. They say that socialism will make sure that everybody got a place to stay, nice clothing. And they say that's wrong. They say that's evil. That's socialism. Let me tell you what democracy says about someone, a nation, a rule of people that says that they are entitled to unlimited, unrestricted education at all costs. They say that's wrong. But socialism says that's right. Nobody is without education access. But democracy and capitalism says that's wrong. Now, why do they say it's wrong? They say it's wrong because these are what you call natural operations. These things are natural in occurrences. But see, when you start talking about capitalism, that is not natural. Capitalism is designed to do exactly what it's doing, rather now than doing a service because it's your gift and you love doing it and people just happen to benefit and you too, rather than using that to make sure that all of your desires are met. They want to say, take money. Now, as soon as they introduce money, they're telling you to forget God. So I want to tell you something. When they say money, that means forget God. When they wrote on the money on that piece of paper that said, "In God we trust," that was a trick. That was a stinking trick. That was just like Donald Trump walking out there trying to pretend at this church that he was caring about God with a book in his hand upside down. Don't even know how to even refer to the Bible. But he was trying to make people think that he knows something. Doesn't know a darn thing. So capitalism, when they come in talking about what they tell you about, the dollar does this, there's a stinking lie. The dollar robs you. The dollar denies God. And I don't care if you're sitting up in a church preaching prosperity as much as you possibly can. Money denies the power of God and puts the power of the people from God in the hands of a piece of paper. Y'all better do something or you're going to go to hell.